Hey guys, welcome to episode 27 of No There's Only Trash Here podcast. The date today is the 7th of October 2013. So this week it's only going to be me. Joe is very sick, or Mr. McLuckable is very sick. I mean, there seems to be a thing going around in the UK, maybe it's worldwide. I don't know how illnesses work. I always assumed that in one town everyone got sick and then it moved on. But apparently Joe, wherever he lives, he got ill, and he sounds like he has the same thing as me that I had last week, and I'm kind of getting over what I had. Now everyone seems to be ill, but it doesn't matter, alright? I'm still here. I'm going to do it probably won't be a quick one actually, because there's a lot to talk about, but I'm going to start off the podcast by telling a story of me and what I've been up to on YouTube, and I'm going to call it Honest on 23 is a complete douchebag and shouldn't be able to leave YouTube comments. Because I'll be honest, when I leave a comment I kind of do like it to be... I like it to start an argument. Not a proper argument, but more like a heated discussion. I like to have that with people on the internet because it's interesting that other people have different opinions, and then I like to think I can argue my opinion, especially when it comes to video games. So I'll happily debate anyone when it comes to if a certain game is good or bad. So I do kind of like to stir the pot a little bit, but in case you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of Two Best Friends Play, who were a Machinima series who now have their own YouTube channel, and they do Let's Plays. It's two guys, Matt and Pat. They do Let's Plays. They're a really great one to watch. They're my favourite one to watch, probably. But recently they started a series that they did last year that over the course of October they do something called the Shitstorm with Scariness, where they do every day in the month of October they check out a different horror game and they just let's play it, and then they just do it for how long they want to do it, and then they kind of quit. So it's about half an hour each one, and it's not a review or anything like that. They just play it for half an hour. Now this year, for the very first video, they did face cam. They never do face cam or anything like that, but they just added in Pat's face as he played the game in the top left corner for the first episode. Now, I hate face cam. I think it's terrible. I think it represents everything that's wrong with certain big Let's Players, as in it comes across as needy, it is very distracting, it's very self-indulgent, it's only there to entertain children. It's like, oh look, it's putting a funny face, awful. I don't think there's any point to it. It should be people playing a game, talking about it, and then actually you know, playing the game. I think that's all it should be. So when I see face cam, I just see everything that's wrong with YouTube. Now, when I saw that they did a face cam video, my initial reaction was like, oh god, are they really going down this route? Are they really turning into PewDiePie? I mean, of course, that's a bit of overreaction. So I was like, no, I'm not going to watch it. You know, people wanted that, a lot of people had demanded it from them, but I was like, I don't want to see it, I don't want to watch it. And then the next 3 videos came out. So the first 3 Shitstorm with Scariness videos, in the thumbnails it had like a picture from the game and then the picture of their face, so them doing a funny, or doing like a scared face, or like, oh, what's going on here face. So after seeing this I was like, I can't watch these guys anymore. And then I was just like, I can't do it. I just don't want to watch them. I think this is not, if they're going in this direction, then that's terrible, and I don't want to watch face cam videos, and it just, again, represents everything I dislike, and if this is the route they're going down, then I don't want to watch them. So what I did on that very third video they posted, I put a comment in the section saying, I'm unsubscribing because if this is the direction you're going in with face cam, then I can't watch you guys. It's just, I can't, being so, you know, there's so many children on YouTube who watch gaming videos that I'm in the vast minority because I'm 21. So my opinion is definitely in the vast minority. If you do like a wacky voice and talk really quick and be like blah 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 and like do a stupid thumbnail, kids like that, and that's where the majority goes to. So I can't support anything like with face cam or putting faces or anything like that. I then got a reply from the Switcher, which is the name of the YouTube channel, saying, is this a joke? And then I replied saying, no, it's like, I think you guys are great, but if this is where you're going, I can't support you. And then I got another reply saying, you know what, if you want to unsubscribe, we wanted to try something new because people like the face cam, we tried it out, we're not going to do it anymore, we're, you know, unsubscribe if you want, but that's how it is. It was then I realised that even though the thumbnails of the first 3 Shitstorm of Scariness was their face, like their actual faces were put on those videos as the thumbnails, The second two didn't have face cam. They only did it in the first one to try it out. So what I instantly realised is that I was the biggest douchebag in the world because I completely overreacted. Because I have nothing wrong with them just trying out face cam and just giving people, you know, saying, hey, here's a video of us doing it. Because they don't like it. They explicitly said they don't like it and they won't use it, but people request it, so they tried it out. So really, I was condemning them for trying it out once on one video. But my mistake was that I assumed it was on all three of them, and I didn't watch the second two, which was really stupid. I should have watched those two and made sure. I shouldn't have just went into it. So then at the same time I started getting bombarded in the comments, and it became this massive debate like a lot of YouTube comments do, where people were just arguing and just attacking each other, and it all started from me saying I'm unsubscribing, you guys have changed. I stupidly put PewDiePie in that comment. That started off a lot of stuff. So then that whole comment turned into this like torrent of just hatred and just attacking each other and just capital letters and swearing and all that. Because my thing with YouTube comments is that I'll have the discussion and it can get heated, but I have two golden rules. I never use capitals, like I never put on caps lock and just have all capitals, and I never swear. That way you're always going to have a civilized discussion even if you don't like the person. You know, if you don't swear and use caps, then you're reasonable. You come across as a reasonable person. But I got a lot of hate for that. There was a couple of people that were pretty cool, but I got over, I think I got 38 replies to my comments. Pretty much all of them just hate. And it was well-deserved hate. It was hate because I had jumped the gun and I assumed too much, and I had turned this comments into this massive hate ball, and I felt really bad about it because I overreacted. And I didn't unsubscribe. I did unsubscribe, but then I subscribed back once I realised I made the mistake of they didn't actually use Facecam, and they weren't planning on using Facecam for the whole series of videos. Because if they did do that, then I probably would have still unsubscribed. But, well, maybe not. At this point I couldn't really say, but I was still kind of upset about it and just knee-jerk reaction comment. So then what I did, I hope you guys are still interested in this story. It's quite long. I just want to get it out there, like I'm a douchebag, and yeah. So then what I did, I felt really bad because I had to go to a lecture, so then I had 2 hours of that sitting there like being like, oh well, one of my favourite YouTubers didn't do anything wrong, just tried to do something new, and I just kind of insulted them and I was a bit of a dick. So when I got home I sent them a message saying, listen, I'm sorry that I overreacted, I think you guys are great, I'm not going to unsubscribe, and continue up the great work. I don't know if I actually needed to send that comment, but I felt like it was the right thing to do. And then they sent a comment back saying, hey, don't worry about it, water under the bridge. We're now going to change the thumbnails to the shitstorm of scariness and take out the faces to avoid confusion. All the while, when I sent them the message and they sent one back, that torrent of hate was still balling. I was still getting comments from people saying, screw you, you're an asshole, and things like that. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing on YouTube, and it was it's the weirdest thing because you always kind of want to, when you watch a YouTuber or whatever, you kind of want them to reply to your comment, you want to leave a comment and then they reply to it, like you leave a funny joke and then like, haha, good one. You kind of, whenever you leave a comment on one of those videos, you always kind of envision a response and being like, that'd be cool if they do respond. And they never had to me before. I have got some top comments on their videos, but they never responded, so it was kind of this really weird bittersweet moment where they actually replied to a personal message they sent to me and replied to me twice on the comments because I'm an asshole. Like, it was really bittersweet. Mostly bitter because I was a douchebag, and douchebags do get attention. That's the really sad thing about the internet and all that. People who shout and scream and who are mental get the attention. So I felt bad for being on that side. So that's how I'm starting off the podcast. Yeah, I would say I'm sorry again, but I don't think they listen, so keep up the good work. That's what I kind of have to say. So let's get into gaming news, because I guess it's kind of lucky Mr. McLuckerboy isn't here, because it's a Nintendo Direct week, and he's not a Nintendo guy. Although he has a 3DS, so maybe that would have been cool. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Let's quickly go through the different things that came up in the Nintendo Direct, because I don't have that much to say about them, really, because it's very standard stuff. It started off with a trailer for Super Mario 3D World, which is looking better and better every trailer they release, but I'm still not sold. It's one of those things where they do seem to be coming up with creative, interesting ideas in their levels, but the problem with the recent Mario games has been like, oh, that should have been in the last game, or that's what the last game should have been. Like with New Super Mario Bros. U, it's a really solid title, but the fact that it was the fourth one in the series of the New Super Mario Bros. Series, it's like New Super Mario Bros. U should have. That's what New Super Mario Wii should have been. Like, so it just feels like a redaction. It's like, okay, so we did Wii, it was completely generic and just had multiplayer in. Here's Super Mario Bros. U that actually does have a cool, with the graphics and does things a bit differently. So now it just seems like the innovation with the Mario series is just tiptoeing forward rather than actually leaping like it did with 64, Sunshine and Galaxy. So that's my biggest problem here. And with Super Mario 3D World, it's like 3D Land. This is what 3D Land should have been. Like, there should have been no 3D Land, just 3D World, with 3D World having the cool creative ideas, the co-op in this way. So now it makes 3D Land completely redundant, and that's the sign of a series going bad or going stagnant, I think. Like with the older Mario games, when Sunshine came out, it was a great game. Some people dislike it, but I say it's a great game. It didn't make 64 redundant. When Super Mario Bros. 3 came out, did a lot of things differently, built upon the formula. It didn't make the first one redundant. Well, you might be able to argue with me on that, but you can still play the first one and really enjoy it. With this, it's like once 3D World comes out and you play it, you're not going to go back to 3D Land. It's completely a redundant, pointless game once the sequel comes out, and that's not how sequels should work. Like with the Zelda series, the Metroid series, every game should be its own. It should build on the ideas, or come up with a completely new idea and new setting. It shouldn't just make the other one completely pointless. So it's looking good, but I don't know, I probably won't get it. The next bit of news was DK Tropical Freeze was delayed, but I'm not that surprised by that. Like, how little they revealed about it. Like, they had the trailer, but it seems like that was going to get delayed. Like, one of these games they said that was going to come out is going to get delayed. That's the Nintendo way. They say all these games are coming out this holiday, then one of them has to get delayed. That's just the way it goes. So I'm not that fussed about that because it looks good. I don't think I'll buy it, but it does look solid. So for me, the major problem with that is that it just means it's more time Retro is spent not making a Metroid game or a Zelda game or any other game. Really, I want Retro to tackle a new Nintendo franchise, but as they're stuck on DK and Donkey Kong, then I don't think that's going to happen. Although the good thing about Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is that the reason why they made 3 Metroid Prime games is because it was like they had 1 and then that worked, so they went straight into 2, and then they had 3 to complete the trilogy, and also it was on the new console, it was on the new Wii. But with the Donkey Kong series, there won't be a third Donkey Kong Country Returns because this is that jump. They're making that jump to the new console early, so this is all the stuff they can do with the Wii U, so they should then jump into something new after this, which is really exciting. So then we got Pikmin 3 DLC, which I like. I mean, I still have Pikmin 3. I don't think I'll buy it though. Like, the challenge maps are really cool, but with me, because I reviewed the game, it was like I beat the game, played some multiplayer, I was done with it. So I have no real desire to go back and do the challenge maps, but they're only because what it is that there's one free map in the challenge maps that's completely free with this new update that they're updating Pikmin 3, and then you can get 3 more challenge apps for £1.80, which is ridiculously cheap. Like, that is the way DLC should be done. Like, you either do one big DLC pack where you have this whole complete package, where the DLC itself, the DLC feels like its own thing, and it feels complete, and then you pay a lot of money for it, but it's its own thing in a way, like New Super Mario Luigi U and 400 Days The Walking Dead. Or you do the cheap add-ons. It's got to be a quick add-on, but it's cheap, and that seems to be the way Nintendo's doing it. So I'm really glad they figured that out, and that they're straight out the gate with it. They're actually doing a really good job. Like, I'll pay £1.80 for more Pikmin 3 maps if I was really into the challenge mode, and it's a pretty good mode. If there was like more bingo battle maps, which I think will be on the way at some point, then I'll pay £1.80 to have like 3 more bingo battle maps. Are you kidding me? That's great. Less than £2 DLC. That's the way to do it. The next up was A Link Between Worlds, which I gotta bring this up because it's really strange the way they're doing this. It's like they're saying that they're gonna be innovative with this game, because pretty much they're saying that at a certain point in the game, all the dungeons you can do in whatever order you want. And the way that works is that instead of just finding items in the traditional way, you go to this shop, rent the item you want to use, because every dungeon has an item that you need. So you can go rent that item, get through the dungeon, and then you can just whatever item you rent is the one. You rent the right one for the right dungeon. So then you can choose which dungeons you want to tackle in what order. Which is great. I really like that idea. I mean, it's a bit odd, the whole renting system, but I'm sure they'll make it work. It's Nintendo. That sounds really cool. But they're coming across like it's innovative, and I guess it's a new way of doing it. But A Link to the Past already did that. Like, you would expect A Link to the Past sequel to let you choose what order you can do the dungeons in the second half of the game, because A Link to the Past did that. That was the staple. A Link to the Past established a lot of the Zelda series. Some stuck, some didn't. With Wind Waker and Skyward Sword, that kind of got rid of a lot of it. But one of the classic things about it is that it was all about choice in the Dark World. So I'm really glad that they're keeping to that. It just seems a bit silly that they're trying to play it like, oh, it's innovative. Right, the next one is Wii Karaoke U, which is this new free-to-download game on the Wii U where it's karaoke, and what you do, you rent. I can't remember exactly how it works, but you pay for an hour. So they have this massive song list, so then you can just choose which songs you want to play, and then you just rent the game for an hour. It's very similar to the Wii Sports Resort, or Wii Sports, I can't remember what it's called, but it's similar to the Wii Sports things, where you can buy a hour pass, a day pass, or a 30-day pass, or a month pass pretty much, and that's cool, but that seems like a weird business model. Surely they're going to lose money that way. After 3 months of the game being out, no one's going to rent a month. And I don't really know if karaoke is still around. The song list is really impressive. I saw Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode on that list. That was the first one that stuck out to me. So I think this is the best way to do karaoke. And renting it and being okay, so I only want it for an hour or two. If I have people around to do karaoke, I'll rent it for an hour and just play it, because it's $180 again for an hour, which is perfectly fine. That's the way to do it. But I think karaoke's dead. If I'm being quite honest, I think with the dance crazes and all the other iPhone stuff, all the other casual stuff people are going to do, I think karaoke is just way down there. People would rather play Just Dance than do karaoke, and especially it's Wii Karaoke U. That just is a bit. That has no casual appeal. It's just a bit odd. Right, the next one is Sonic Lost World, which, similar to Super Mario 3D World, it's looking better every trailer that comes out, and I'm very tempted to get it. Because the problem that I had with Sonic Lost World is that they showed off, when they first kind of were revealing it, they showed off the Green Hill Zone. It's not called Green Hills Zone, but it is, and the Desert Zone. And the Desert Zones I now associate with mediocrity, thanks to Super Mario Bros. Wii, or New Super Mario Bros. Wii, because it just represents we didn't try. Oh, here's a Desert Zone, we didn't try. And then when they have the Green Hill Zone, I was like, oh, they're going for that retro appeal, and I don't like it in Sonic games when they go for that retro appeal, because it leads to crap like Sonic Heroes and Sonic 4 Episode 1. I really like the Sonic 3D games or parts of it, and the major part I like about the 3D games is that they have their own personality. They're not trying to rip off the older ones. That's why Colors was so successful, and Generations was successful because it was blatant about what it was doing. I don't want every Sonic game to have a Green Hill Zone. I just don't want that. So that was looking pretty bad. But now with this new stuff showing off later levels, it looks like they are doing some new kind of stuff, and with this whole parkour system they're kind of implementing, it's actually turning out a lot better than I thought, so maybe I will check it out. I'm still undecided, because it comes out on the 18th, so maybe I'll get it. I'm not sure. Definitely won't be getting the 3DS version, because it's being made by Dimps, and they can't make games. Right, so then the next one was Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, which I have no opinion on it. I haven't played any of them, so. And then the last one was Bravely Default, which, in case you don't know, this is Final Fantasy, pretty much. This is Square Enix making a new Final Fantasy game, or it's not technically a Final Fantasy game. It's a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy: The Four Heroes of Light on the DS. But if you watch the trailer, it's Final Fantasy. So that's kind of exciting, but then again, I don't like the older Final Fantasy games. Like, I don't like them. I thought 13 was okay. I liked 10 back in the day. I didn't like the SNES ones. The only SNES one I played was Final Fantasy 6, and I thought that was awful. Especially because I played Chrono Trigger first. Chrono Trigger, perfect. Like, perfect. Final Fantasy VI, sloppy, just sloppy, they don't care, just no thought into it, horrible art style, didn't like it. So Bravely Default I'm on the fence about getting, and also it doesn't help that the voice acting is terrible. Like, seriously, go check out that trailer, it's awful, the voice acting in it, so probably won't be getting it. But that's everything from the Nintendo Direct, so here's what's coming this year, pretty decent. But as a Nintendo Direct, especially compared to the other ones, like, a Nintendo Direct announced A Link Between Worlds, and this one announced Wii Karaoke U, so it's not quite the same. But that wasn't what it is. It's not that sort of season anymore. We've had the season of announcements, and now we have the seasons of stuff actually coming out, so that's kind of pretty exciting. So let's go over the other bits of news. There's one thing I wanted to talk about, and that's the Gabe Newell Half-Life 3 thing. There's been some rumours about Half-Life 3 and, it's being trademarked, but it probably wasn't, because apparently a trademark came up, but now it's also coming out that it probably was fake. And then they're showing there's some document that shows that there is a team at Valve making Half-Life 3 as well as Left 4 Dead 3, but then again, it's not confirmed. But Gabe Newell said, because Steam made all those big announcements, and then of course people were like, where's Half-Life 3? Gabe Newell did this whole thing, like he did this whole letter to the internet, I suppose. Blog post, I really should have said. I tweeted the link of this, so if you saw that tweet then you probably already know my opinions about this. But basically breaking it down, saying, hey, we're not working on Half-Life 3, we got other stuff we kind of want to do. But the way he comes across such like a baby. Like, the angle he comes across is like, yeah, we could just make sequels, but then he pretty much saying, then what, do you want just DLC all the time, and then do you want yearly releases? Is that what you want? That's what people are demanding, but we're not going to do that because we don't want to sell out, we want to do what we want to do. Which is fair enough, but the main problem about Half-Life 3 is how much they've teased it. Like, if they just never talked about it, or if they just said, no, we're not making it, or no, Half-Life 3 is so far away, don't even worry about it, then nobody would kind of bug him. And if they actually made Half-Life 2 Episode 3, people wouldn't bug them about this stuff. But they put this all on themselves by being like, okay, we're going to make 3 episodes for Half-Life 2, they only made 2, and they've talked about Half-Life 3 for the last, years now. It's got to be 7 years they've kind of talked about it, and then nothing has actually been revealed or any real concrete information. So it's their fault. They're bringing this all on and then being annoyed when people are demanding the game they keep teasing and be like, oh no, we're being an innovative company, we're making the Steam OS, we're doing what we want to do. It's like, well, make the bloody game you said you were going to make, or don't. Just make a decision. And I just find that really frustrating that they don't make a decision. Say, no, we're not making Half-Life 3. I would love for them to say that. Don't just be like, oh, I guess we're making it, I suppose it's on the way, maybe, I'm not sure. So I have no sympathy for Gabe Newell here. I usually do like the guy, like most gamers, but here, got no sympathy for him. Right, so the next topic is Mighty Number 9 has been fully funded. I mean, who saw that one coming? Or anyone who saw the Kickstarter after 2 or 3 days after it came out. And it got funded with $4 million in total, which includes the Kickstarter and the PayPal they set up. So that means it's coming out on every console under the sun. Every next-gen console and every current-gen. Well, 360, PS3, 3DS, PS Vita, PS4, Xbox One, Steam or PC Max Linux. That's what it's coming out on. So that's pretty cool. I haven't really got that much to say about the game. It looks pretty sweet. I like some of the ideas of Mega Man. I didn't like Mega Man X that much, but that was my own personal kind of nitpicks. But so I'm excited that they got it, and I'm going to be getting it on my Wii U because I gave them $20, and now I kind of get a copy in 2015. So one thing it'd be nice like now it's fully funded, that they can actually go away and just make the game, because that's the process I don't really like with Kickstarter. Like, making games takes a lot of time. I'm assuming, again, I don't know that much about game development, but it takes a lot of time. So with Kickstarter, I don't really like how it's like, we're doing this, and how it's like hype, because really they need to go away and just make it. And that's why I really respect Shovel Knight, which is another one I've invested in, because they've spent like the last 2 months actually just making it, because they said it's going to come out this year, although I think it's actually going to come out beginning of next year. So after all the big hype thing that happened all around that game, they are now just making it. So I really hope Mighty Number 9 does kind of go away for the next year as they actually go and make the game, because they're giving themselves a year and a half, possibly 2 years to make this game. So I hope they do just go away, make a really great game. It seems like there's a lot of talent behind them. They've got all the money they need. One of the most successful, Kickstarters out there. Not the most successful, but one of them, and I suppose in a way they deserve it, but I mean, it's hard to say that anyone deserves $4 million for just asking for being like, wait, we can make a Mega Man game, sort of. Especially when there's so many other Kickstarters that also deserve to be fully funded and don't even come close. I mean, you can't condemn Mighty Number 9 for becoming fully funded because people like it, because at the end of the day, people make that choice to, give them money. But when you see other indie projects that definitely do deserve money and don't get anywhere near close to 4 million, it seems a bit sad. Okay, so final thing on the list, the GTA 5 online launch. I don't really have that much to say about this, I'll be honest, but apparently it's really patchy. But I can't really... Okay, so it's like, apparently... I think at this point in time it's still quite... You can play on the online, but there's still some problems, and they had problems for the first 3 days, definitely. And can anyone get annoyed about online launches not working at this point? Like, especially with GTA 5, it's also GTA 5 has outsold GTA 4 in the UK. It's a massive hit. Can you really be annoyed by them not having their servers completely up to date? Like, it seems unreasonable at this point. Like, no MMO, because this is pretty much an MMO, no MMO or whatever has been able to successfully launch and not have server problems. So when GTA 5 comes out and it has server problems, it's not surprising. I'm sure it's frustrating on the first day, but you just gotta give it a few days and log on. Like, you can't kind of get annoyed at this point. Like, I mean, I suppose you could. I didn't try and log on. I no longer have GTA 5, so I can't or won't ever really play the online, so maybe that's why I'm not annoyed. If there was like a Metroid online and I tried to log on and it didn't work for the first 3 days, I would probably be quite annoyed, but I don't know, I don't really care. But it's not surprising, that's just the way it is when you have, like, especially like with GTA 5 compared to MMOs. GTA 5 is it's a massive launch. Most MMOs don't even come close to that. They're pretty big MMOs, but I don't know. I'm just going to drop this and move on. So this week coming out, we got a console launch. Can anyone out there do you know what it is? I'll give you a second. Well, it's the Nintendo 2DS. Comes out on the 12th of October. So yay, I suppose. It's kind of weird that it's already coming out. That feels really quick since it got announced. So that also means that Pokemon X and Y is coming out on the 12th. And let me tell you something, alright? Something that ticks me off today. I went down to my local HMV because I traded in a few games to get some store credit. So now I have £33 in HMV store credit, and that should be enough for Pokemon X and Y, or just one of them. I'm only going to get Pokemon Y. So then I was like, okay, I traded in my games, I got the credit. I think I'll pre-order it, just to make sure I get a copy on the day. Went up to the counter, was like, can I pre-order Pokemon Y? She went on the thing, and then typed in, and was like, okay, so it's coming out on the 12th. And I was like, yes. We're not ordering any copies in. I was like, well, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, we just don't have any copies on order, so we might not have any copies on the day that it comes out. I was like, oh, so can I pre-order it? And she was like, yeah, you can pre-order it, but you'll just secure yourself a copy, but we don't know when we're ordering them, so you'll just have a copy whenever we get them. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, because now I'm completely locked in, because I traded in games because I can't really afford to buy Pokemon Y. Well, I can, but sometimes you just can't justify buying so many new games at launch, like 30, 40 quid on a new game. You just can't always justify it. So I traded in stuff. So now I'm completely locked into HMV, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm just gonna try and find a different HMV and maybe pre-order it from there or what. But I'll have to like catch a bus, and it's like, oh, that's a headache. So basically, with Pokemon Y, or Pokemon X and Y, I might have a copy the day it comes out. I just have to go down to HMV, see if they have a copy, and if they do, awesome. If not, then I'll just have to wait, because I have £33 on a card ready to go. And the other games I want to get this holiday season, Batman Arkham Origins and Call of Duty Ghosts, I already have on pre-order for cheap on Amazon. So I won't use it on anything else, or it'll just be self-indulgence. Even more so than me buying so many brand new video games. But anyway, so maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't, I don't know. I really want it, of course. It looks really good, but we'll have to see. Alright, so also on the 11th of October we have Beyond Two Souls, which I was interested in, but it's David Cage, and apparently I don't think Heavy Rain looks that bad, even though some people slag it off, but Indigo Prophecy, or Fahrenheit as I guess I should call it, it looks terrible. So this could be just awful. It could just be diarrhea. Like, I was really kind of excited about this game at some point, but now I'm not really excited about it anymore. So I probably won't get it, but it might be really good. I don't know. And then also, last of all, we got Dragon's Crown on the PS3 coming on the 11th of October. I believe that's Europe only. And I think that's some Atlas game that's meant to be good, but to me it's a fantasy game, and I don't really like those, so yep, so that's what's coming out this week. So I'm just going to end of the podcast with one more kind of thing, which is Wind Waker HD came out, and it's awesome. It's really awesome. I brought the limited edition one, so I have the Ganondorf statue. And let me tell you another story of me being stupid. There's this podcast full of them, just full of them. So I have the Ganondorf statue, and it comes in a little container. It's really cool. I opened it up the day it showed up. I was like, awesome, yay! So I put it on top of my wardrobe. Now, on top of my wardrobe, I also have clothes hanging off it because they were drying from, I washed them, and being a responsible adult or whatever, I wash my clothes and have to do laundry. And so I had it was balanced on top of one of my clothes. So I had a t-shirt on top of my wardrobe and Ganondorf statue on top of my wardrobe. On the Friday when it came out, I opened up my wardrobe after doing this, and the t-shirt went, and the Ganondorf statue went. It fell on the floor, and it's a pretty big wardrobe, and now Ganondorf has been snapped off his feet. So I have a stand with his feet on it, and then I have the Ganondorf statue. So the day it arrived, because I spent 60 quid to get the limited edition, and now it's snapped. So I have to glue it back on. Really annoyed at myself for doing that. It was a really stupid thing to do. I don't know why I thought putting my Ganondorf statue on top of a t-shirt by my wardrobe was a good idea. I mean, it's still up on my wardrobe, but the damage is done now at this point, I suppose, so need to glue that back on. It's a really cool statue, by the way. It's a bit smaller than I thought it was, but the box that it comes in is awesome, and the statue is also pretty cool. But pretty much, I love Wind Waker HD. It's amazing. After playing it, because my top 3 Zelda games used to be Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, A Link to the Past, because Ocarina of Time classic, I love Twilight Princess and the direction it went in, and A Link to the Past is the best 2D Zelda games, and I do love the 2D Zelda games, even if Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 are unplayable at this point. Or for me anyway. And when Wind Waker was down there somewhere, better than Majora's Mask, but it was down there somewhere because I had a few problems. The problems I had with Wind Waker is the lack of dungeons, the side quests, and the sailing. But the lack of dungeons just don't seem to matter anymore. I don't know why. I just don't like Forsaken Fortress, but whatever, I can kind of get over that at this point, because I know it. Like, I just know that place. I can get through it super quick, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to explore it, there's not much there, you just go straight to the exit. So that's not a problem anymore. The side quests are a lot better thanks to the gamepad, because you can now see everything on that bottom screen. It saves all the information you have, and so as you're sailing around, you can actually see all the information you need on that bottom screen, which makes it really awesome to do and really just painless. And then the third one with the sailing, you can now go like twice as quick with the Swift sail, which actually does create frame rate problems. There's big frame rate drops as you sail. If you go up to certain areas, the frame rate will just drop like heavily. It's happened more than once where I go to a certain island, just it massively drops. None of the main ones, but all the little ones. So I really love this game. I think it's, for me, it's now better than A Link to the Past. With the visual style is really like it's 10 times better than it was thanks to the HD graphics. I really also do like the story as well. I think the story's great. You know, it's a cool way of doing things, and with the combat and everything else, and all the other great features of it. The fact that the problems I had with it, I no longer care about, and they're fixed. It's amazing. So for me, it's better than Link to the Past now. It now for me goes Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker HD. And I'm going to add on the HD every time because I still don't want to go back and play the original. It's good, but yeah, whatever. So that's this week's podcast. I think I did alright. For me doing it by myself. So yeah, next week hopefully Mr. McLucker will be feeling better again. So yeah, anyway, so thank you very much for checking out this episode. See you next week where Mr. McLucker should be joining me again, and yeah, see you guys later.